Started Sleep Chamber in 1982. It's got to be at least 23 years old by now. At no time did Sleep Chamber start off to be a success, hits, anything in that kind of mentality or that kind of concept. It was always personal. Even when different musicians came and went, Sleep Chamber was meant to be personal. No musician was designed to fit a format. I always wanted the individuality to be an important role, okay? All Sleep Chamber music is surrounded by a fashion of individuality, sexuality, individuality, and personal conception of belief systems. Never was it meant to be hit bound or anything. And I hate to say this, but the audience and the people who appreciate Sleep Chamber or like Sleep Chamber never had a effect on our decisions. That's what kept us from being stagnant. That's what kept Sleep Chamber from to evolve and to change. What comes out of Sleep Chamber is my personal emotions, my personal feelings, my personal views. I don't want to lead the sexual revolution. I don't want to tell what people's whether their religion is right or wrong. What Sleep Chamber stands for is a personal revelation of me, John Zewizz, what I'm going through. I don't have the time to care about your skin color. I don't have the time to care about your religion. I don't have the time to care about what bands you like. Nothing. Life is too short to be that narrow-minded, okay? My life is too short, and we have never been we were never associated or any part of Anton LaVey's satanic, devil worship, magic, anti-religion concept. We were never had anything to do with the sex revolution. There were parts of sexuality that Sleep Chamber was surrounded by, of course, the barbiturates and bondage and all that stuff, but that was all the concept of what I was personally challenging or going through at the time, whether it was my own experimentation or curiosity. It never had anything to do with Sleep Chamber wanting to run or lead any kind of revolution or to be in control or in charge of anything. Unfortunately, Sleep Chamber's concept is all based on my personal diary, my personal revelations of my life, and it does not include the audience. It doesn't include the band. Parts of the band may have similarities in individuality, sexuality, belief systems, whatever, but it is basically evolved from my life, and we're not interested in supporting or representing any other sexuality, belief systems, magic, anything, bondage, nothing. Sleep Chamber is its own entity, okay? And it evolves. It evolves from the early days into a midstream, and then it evolves to a later time period. But we exist in a sphere or a world of our own, okay? And whether we sell a lot of music or not is irrelevant. It's the like-minded people who enjoy or relate to the experiences or the concepts that I'm going through, or some of the people in the band are going through, okay? There's humor in Sleep Chamber, there's sexuality in Sleep Chamber, there's mysticism in Sleep Chamber. There's a collection of all different things in Sleep Chamber, but to try to pigeonhole it down and call us industrial or call us fetish or call us devil worship or whatever is just a way of people trying to control us, and it's insignificant, actually, very insignificant in the production of what we do as music or what we do as a concept. Ultimate minority is a minority that is chosen to be different because they rely on their primitive instinct to guide them, to know what they like and what they don't like. They know right from wrong, but they also are not afraid to step outside the majority, which is known as the norm. What is normal? Normal is known as what the majority does. The ultimate minority is not impressed by this. It is a like-minded amount of people who see themselves as enlightened, different, special. Everyone thinks they're different. Everyone thinks they're special. They're not. Not everybody is unusual. Not everybody is special. Not everybody's different. They think they are, but how can they be when they are part of the majority? You can only be different if you're a minority, if you stand outside and alone. And most people go through their whole life being nonconformists, rebels, and don't understand what they evolve into a individual. But at some point of their life, they will understand what it is to be an individual. Unfortunately, a lot of these people become addicts, statistics, suicides, because they feel like not fitting in is important. Not fitting in, to me, took me my whole life to appreciate, to understand. The ultimate minority is a classification of people who automatically identify with that phrase, knowing they have chosen to appreciate their primitive instinct and depend on it. That's why that phrase has become so popular. I'll speak briefly about this nanny thing. I don't think it's particularly funny or part of the sleep chamber history, but I will explain it just so people understand and don't misconstrue what it was. There was a murder, and they found a torso of a nanny, a young girl. Her arms and legs and head were missing. It was found 2 blocks from where I live, and there were people over maybe a couple of days before at a party, and there were some people who weren't regulars that seen things in my house, maybe some thigh bones, a ram skull, whatever. They assumed that because this body was found close to my residence, that maybe I was a Frankenstein type that needed more thigh bones, arms, rings, whatever. So she told her mother. Her mother contacted the police, and they investigated me. FBI, the police, the homicide units. I was a suspect in this nanny murder, and we did not in any way capitalize on it or make any kind of exploitation of it. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's part of the history of Sleep Chamber at all, but I did want to clarify that's what happened. They did eventually find out that her boss, the person who did hire her to be a nanny, was the one that did, in fact, murder her. I was never cleared of anything. I still remained, in the papers as a suspect or a weirdo or a Frankenstein type or whatever. No retractions, nothing, but this rumor goes on, and people ask me this question about this nanny, and I'll say it again, I don't think it's funny. I think it's very sad, and it is no part of Sleep Chamber history whatsoever. The 97 tour of Germany, I don't know, maybe we did like 20 shows in 30 days or something, but it was hoodwinked by a character named Ralph. I can't think of the name of his company, but we did 20 shows in 30 days for nothing, for maybe $1,000, and what I sold in merchandise. He took off with the nest egg, and that that's not over yet. That's still ongoing. But it did put a big damper on Sleep Chamber and touring. It was over $25,000. We played for nothing for a month. Our plane tickets were paid for, our hotels were paid for, but we got no pay for playing. I was out on that stage every night sweating, the girls were dancing, the band was playing. End of the tour, he never showed with the nest egg. Pretty sure he resents that now, or regrets that, maybe I should say. But it did put a very big damper on Sleep Chamber for a while, because it takes all the reward out of what you're doing. If you work hard and there's just a tiny bit of reward, you will work yourself to the bone for that little bit of reward. But when you work yourself to the bone and there is no reward, and you're made a fool of, or hoodwinked, whatever, it's a very, discouraging piece of time. So other things happened in Sleep Chamber in the late 90s, but we did a show in 2000. We played Man Ray on New Year's Eve. I've been doing soundtracks for video games and Japanese animation. So it's not like we've disappeared. It's just we've been taken out of the limelight. That's all. Sleep Chamber will never die. All it takes is the people who are loyal to us, allegiance, people who appreciate us, that keep us going. I mean, what chosen few there are do keep us going.